Hey everyone, Mark Hespin here, host of On the Mark on News Talk 1070 KHMO and the KHMO app. Well, it has officially dropped, the Chicago Bears 2024-2025 schedule. I'm looking at it right now. I've been waiting for this moment, do an instant reaction. I've only looked through the schedule once. Already see some things I really like, some things I really don't like. And so let's go through it game by game. I'll give an instant reaction, my kind of thoughts on that game, and then also a prediction. And we'll try to get an instant reaction, prediction, and record, all right? As always, follow me on all social media at Mark Hespin. Like and subscribe here on the channel. Bear down. Let's go. Bear claw, baby. Week 1 at home against the Tennessee Titans. Great week 1 matchup for the Chicago Bears. New head coach for the Tennessee Titans. Second-year quarterback. Mixing some new weapons together. Bears get a home debut for their rookie quarterback. I love that for the Chicago Bears. I think that's got to be a win. The Bears have a better roster right now than the Titans. They have more continuity at the head coaching spot than the Titans. They're at home. Give me the Bears W for the Titans. Let me mark this as I go along here now. This is instant reaction. Bears, Titans, W. Okay, W to start the season. Then week 2 at Houston. That's probably a loss. The Houston Texans, playoff team last year. I think they got better in the offseason. Ton of continuity. Love their head coach. Love their quarterback. So we're going to give them an L at the Texans. Tough week 2 matchup, but we'll get to see early on here for Caleb Williams comparing against 2 second-year quarterbacks and where he stacks up. Instant reaction, that's a loss. Week 3, on the road in Indianapolis, short road trip for the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears have a better roster than the Indianapolis Colts. I like my quarterback more than Anthony Richardson right now. Even though Shane Steichen's a real smart offensive coach, I think that's a W for the Chicago Bears on the road against the Indianapolis Colts. Starting off the year, 2-1. Like that start. A nice start for Caleb Williams. Should be 2 winnable games. A winnable home game, winnable road game. Then a tough matchup against the Texans on the road. Week 4 at home against Los Angeles Rams. Don't love this for Chicago. You get the Rams, a warm weather team. You want to get them in Chicago in December, in January. They get them early in the year. It's a really good Matthew Stafford offense, really great wide receiver core. Those guys should be healthy. They're kind of a veteran core group of position players who I expect to be beat up later on in the year. Hate that they get the Rams early. I think that's a loss. I'm going to go 2-2 through 4 games. A win on the road, a win at home, a loss at home, and a loss on the road. Week 5, giant game, an easy win for the Chicago Bears at home against the Carolina Panthers. I think they take down Bryce Young and Carolina pretty easily at home. Much better roster. They're at home. This is going to be a real big prove-it game for both quarterbacks. And lucky for Caleb Williams, he's got a lot more weapons than Bryce Young and a better defense. And I think a better head coach. Week 6 in home against Jacksonville. Away against Jacksonville in London. That's a loss. Jacksonville travels really well. Jacksonville's a great roster. They know the London game here now. This is not new territory for Trevor Lawrence. I hate the fact that the Bears have to play the Jags in London. Could the Bears find a way to squeak out a win here? Possible. Yeah, especially if they're rolling after a nice win against Carolina. But Jacksonville's got a ton of weapons. Jacksonville's got a quarterback who's in a prove-it year right now. And an offensive head coach, and they're used to the London trip. I worry about how Chicago's going to handle the London trip. Now, I love that we have the bye post the London trip, but I hate that it's an early bye, week 7. The only thing I like about it is if my prediction goes as planned, they're 3-3 at this point in time, and so this is a reset moment, right? You're 3-3, you come back from London, can you reset? So that's the only good thing about the early bye, especially if they've got a couple little nagging injuries early in the year. This is a really important stretch for the Chicago Bears post-bye. Week 8, they're at home against Washington. That's a W. They have a better roster than Washington. Another kind of prove-it game for Caleb Williams against the number 2 overall pick. I like the Chicago Bears off a bye, having extra time to prepare for Washington, the Commanders. Give me the Bears W over the Commanders post-bye. They go to San Francisco. Let's be honest, that's probably a loss. So here we are through 9 weeks, 8 games played. The Bears, I have 4 wins, 4 losses. Win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. That's, I think, a very okay thing for the Chicago Bears through week 9. This is now a really important stretch for the Chicago Bears. 3 home games in a row, and all 3 of them extremely winnable, important games. Week 10, home against the Patriots after a tough, brutal game and a loss against the Niners. It's a W. The Bears are a better roster than the Patriots. They're better coached than the Patriots. They have a better quarterback than the Patriots. They have better weapons than the Patriots. They're at home. It's a must-win game for the Chicago Bears. I think they get it done. Then home against Green Bay. This is the year. They'll have momentum after the Patriots game. I think they split with the Packers this year. They get the win at home. It's a win for the Chicago Bears. Their first win streak for Caleb Williams. First win against Green Bay. I know that's going to be tough, and I know that's me just assuming the Bears are going to win and split against Green Bay, but I'm going to give the Bears a split against Green Bay because I think the Bears have just as good of a roster as Green Bay. I think they actually have a better veteran roster. Now, Green Bay's got the more experienced quarterback, and a quarterback who's going to be playing for a contract and an offensive head coach. I like Green Bay's coach more, but this game is in Chicago. The Bears in Chicago played the Packers pretty tough last year until things unraveled at the end of the season. I like this spot for the Bears. It's not a must-win final week of the season or first week of the season to get the Bears in the middle of the season, and they get the Bears. They get the Packers when Caleb Williams can get a nice, easy W after a Patriots game. I think they win against the Packers at home. Then the Vikings come to town at home. I think they beat the Vikings. I think they sweep the Vikings this year. The only divisional opponent I think they sweep this year. I think they split with Detroit and they split with the Packers. They have a better roster than the Vikings, and they have a better quarterback than the Vikings. They have got to beat the Vikings both games. It's imperative for the Bears to beat the Vikings. The Bears go on a 3-game win streak with these 3 important games at home, and then a really tough game on the road. First time playing Detroit. It is a primetime game, Thanksgiving in Detroit. Probably a loss. I think Detroit's got a better roster. I think they have a better coach. I think right now they have a better quarterback. They have just as good of weapons. I think Detroit gets a W in Thanksgiving in Detroit. So the Bears fall to Detroit on the road Thanksgiving. But because of the 3-game win streak, you're now a team that is was 4-4, and now you're 5-4, 6-4, 7-4, 7-5 through week 13. In the playoff push here coming to the late part of the season. 2 more winnable road games. I think they get a win at Arizona and a win at Minnesota. So now they're 9-5. The Bears are a 9-5 team after another 2-game win streak here late in the season after post week 15. Can they get to 10 wins? They have 3 games left remaining in the schedule. Can they get to 10 wins? I think they can. Home against Detroit. They always play Detroit well at home. Detroit's just a better roster and better coach team. I think they fall to Detroit, but I think they win at home against Seattle in week 17. That gets them to 10 wins. Green Bay on the road, playoff positioning. I think Green Bay is going to be battling for the division with Detroit closer to 11, 12 wins. I think Chicago's going to put up a hell of a fight. I don't think the Bears are going to sweep Green Bay in the season series. I think they lose to Green Bay, but with 10 wins and 7 losses, the Chicago Bears probably put themselves in a spot to find their way into the playoffs. That's my gut reaction. Things that I think I could convince myself of changing. I think there's a way the Chicago Bears find a way to split with Detroit and maybe find a way to sweep the series against Green Bay. Depending on health, that Green Bay week 18 game is going to be really, really hard to predict. If the Bears are healthier than Green Bay at that point, they very well could beat Green Bay. I'll give everything the benefit of the doubt right now and say they split with Detroit, they split with Green Bay. I think they sweep Minnesota. And if you look at the schedule, finding 10 wins, the only way I see it right now is if they sweep Minnesota. So that's going to be incredibly important. The early bye is tough, but it's the post-Jags game, and then they have winnable games. I think after the bye, they find a way to go 4-1. The loss at the 49ers, the Niners are a better coach team, better roster, better experienced. I think the Bears will get a little bit eaten alive against a good San Francisco 49ers team on the road. But then they have 3 really winnable and an incredibly important stretch. If the Chicago Bears want to make the playoffs this year, they have got to find a way to be healthy and to win week 10, 11, and 12, all 3 at home. Can you beat the Patriots, the Packers, and the Vikings? 3 wins in a row at home. 4 out of 5, including that win against Washington on the road. That's a really important road game early in the year. The Colts game early in the year is a road game, really important to find victories there. And then win your gimmies at home. Beat Tennessee at home. Beat the Panthers at home. Beat the Patriots at home. And then beat Seattle at home. Those are 4 gimme home games. If you include a sweep of the Vikings, and then a go either way game against Colts, and then a winnable game against the Washington Commanders. This Chicago Bears team should be 10-7. They should be in the playoffs. That's my instant reaction. Follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, on X, at Mark Hespen, MarkHespen. Like and subscribe. Shout out to my sponsors, Kunis Honda Hyundai. Tune in every Saturday morning on the Mark News Talk 1070 KHMO and the KHMO app. Follow the show on the Mark KHMO on Facebook. And I'll see you Saturday morning for a full breakdown of the complete NFL schedule, things that I like, things I don't like, and some early predictions for teams based on the schedule release.